Hello, Manifestor, and welcome to our year ahead spread general reading. I am so excited to share this with you because I'm a manifestor too, so it's for me as well. And I just love the year ahead spread. I think it just gives this wonderful, I always go I always do a year ahead spread on my birthday month, which is May. And so right now I'm kind of like right in the middle of it. And just before this reading, I went to go and check what it was, because I do the reading and I do the interpretation of what I think it might be, at that time. And I write everything in my journal. And I went back to it today, and my card for January is the Death card. And I couldn't be more thrilled because the Death card is about expansion and transformation, and it's like a snake shedding its skin. And that just really fits for me right now. And so I went back, and so I usually look at the beginning of the month to kind of see what's coming, what's the energy ahead. And then I go back at the end of the month and kind of reflect on how that was integrated into my life. So I hope that this helps you. Again, it's a general reading. You are certainly welcome to reach out to me for a personalized energy reading. And you can do so that through my website, which is just down below in the description. That's what it's called, right? Okay, well, let's call in spirit. I have already meditated and done a super shuffle on the cards. And so let's call in spirit and get going. Okay, manifestors, what's up for us in 2025? Okay, so for January, we have, ooh, interesting. Okay. We have the Five of Pentacles. All right. Now, fives are about changes. They can be about changes. They can be about conflict. They can be about, there's some ruffling happening, right? And it is this month with and this actually makes perfect sense for most people, okay, in January, is that there's a bit of a feeling of being left out in the cold, right? Perhaps there has been some overspending in the holiday season. And the worst day of the year, the most depressing day of the year is, I think it's the third Monday I don't know, from some research, the third Monday in January. And that's because, the zip or the joy of the holiday season is kind of come and gone. And, perhaps those credit card bills are coming in. Anyway, so this actually does quite fit. But really, the Five of Pentacles is about refusing help, okay? So it's so it's important to accept help when it's offered. We've got these two rather, destitute looking people, and they're coming along, only, they got no shoes on, and they're wrapped up, and these people are not doing very well, let's be honest. But help is right in front of them, okay? All they have to, this is, a place of worship, and it's warm in there, there's food in there, all they have to do is go through the door, but instead they're hanging outside. Okay, so this one is a bit of a pity party. So if you do find yourself having a little bit of a pity party for yourself, recognize it, okay, and then start focusing on something else, because you don't want to stay here, right? You want to change this, right? We want to change this. We want, So there we go. Okay. So it makes sense to me that this would be in January. So let's just be mindful of it. Let's be careful about our thoughts. And also with Pentacles being about resources, you might be analyzing your resources and going, oh crap, what have I done? Well, let's pay attention to that. I myself am doing no buy January. Okay. So I've been doing a lot of listening to other YouTube channels about, abundance and, and wealth and stuff. And I found one, and it's just this one called Alux, and it keeps calling me out. It's not literally, right? But it feels like it's calling me out on things that I do that are, anyways, so no buy January. I'm being encouraged for no buy January, and so are you. It's really to see how that actually does pan out. So far so good. And gift cards don't count because which I went gift card shopping the other day because we had some left over from the holidays, and but that doesn't count because I stayed in the budget, so that's okay. But even today, like my girlfriend, I went for a hike with some girlfriends this morning, and we took my dog, and afterwards she's like, you want to go get this fancy French pastry? And I said no, and she's like, well, I'll buy it. And I was like, okay, I can do that. But then it turns out they were sold out, so I didn't get to try it. So I'll have to. What was it called? Oh, I can't remember. It was, but the way she described it, it sounded great. Okay, anyway, so there we go. So January, we have the Five of Pentacles. So be mindful, 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 mindful. All right, let's talk about February. What do we have? Us delightful manifestors. Okay, we have the Page of Wands. So February it's time to like the wands. This is about like inspiration. It's also, I always think about this like a talking stick. So I'm actually going to clarify this one. Okay, so like it's a talking stick. So you're going to start talking about something new, right? So pages can be about new paths opening up. So some of you might have like a new inspiration for like a new path in life for you, or just like an offshoot, right? Like sometimes like not all all roads in life actually do lead to the same destination, right? It's death, right? Like we all end up in the same spot. Actually, it's so funny. Well, not funny, but a friend of mine, I was out with some friends a couple nights ago, and she was like, I'm gonna die alone. And I was like, well, we all do, right? Like everybody does. And she's like, that's not what I mean. I'm like, okay. So anyways, a new path. All right. So we've got a new path in some area, and I'm going to do it right now. I'm not going to wait. Actually, I'm going to take the next card. Whoa. Hello. A new path of healing. Okay. So it's time to start talking. So if you have been talking about what's going wrong with your health, it is time to stop that, okay? You are ready for a new path. I have found, like, I'm 48 years old, and, no spring chicken, but I've been taking care of myself and stuff like that, and I've had some health things, very interestingly enough, but I found that a lot of us we have conversations about all the things that are wrong, right? So, like, I've taken a little break for the last couple of weeks, and it's not because of the holidays. It is because I had 4 dental surgeries, okay? Well, yeah, there's a little one, yay. But I'm also looking forward to a new grill, right? Anyways, I've got 3 missing teeth right now. Probably too much information, but whatever. And I'm getting all of them fixed within the next few months. And I needed a lot of messages from the universe to get that done, and it just forced it upon me. But anyways, so there is a new path awaits for you that you're going to be excited and like ready to take action on it. And it's around healing. Okay. So stop talking about what's wrong. Okay. That's really important. I love, this is just blanket advice for all the things, right? When we focus on what's not working, we just get more of that. So when people complain about their health, or they complain about anything, right? Like, I try not to complain at all, right? And it's hard sometimes because we're so conditioned, and it's so all over the media and all this kind of stuff. And sometimes people really commiserate, right? I mean, when we were talking about when my friend was being a bit of a downer, right? But I joined her there, right? She has mice in her house that effing sucks. I've had it before. I hate mice and rats. You can put snakes all over my body, a spider, no problem. I see a mouse, it's game over. I don't even want to, right? So I joined her there, but then I was like, but I don't want to talk about what's wrong all the time. So I joined her there, and then I used my light work of magic and changed the vibe. But okay, but we're talking about something new, and it's important that you talk about healing, not pain. Okay. All right. For some of you, that is going to be life-changing, actually. Okay. Let's go to March. Manifestors in March. Whoa, hello. March is going to be a really beautiful month. For me, the 10 of Pentacles is all about family. It's about love, like across the board. Okay. It's also about legacy. So for some of you, now, unfortunately, some of you, maybe getting an inheritance, okay? And that's a good thing, but it also means that something's happened, right? Now, the only time of an inheritance I feel like is really great is if it comes from a mysterious Nigerian prince, or maybe it came from somebody that you didn't even know existed, right? Like, but because like inheritance, while it can be a really, really beautiful thing, it's also, tied to grief and loss and whatnot, right? But it can also mean new beginnings and wonderful starts. So here we've got this kind of older person, right? But they are surrounded. They've got the dogs, they've got their two companions, we've got happy family, there's lots of luxury in this card. So really, like, there's like this fulfillment of like this of wealth, but wealth across the board, right? Like health is wealth, and okay. So focus on health, and then you will get wealth, okay? And again, remember, wealth is not just money and finances, just like the pentacles are not just money and material possessions. It's about all of our resources. But March will be a beautiful month for so many of us, okay? So I'm actually getting a free trip to Disneyland. I haven't been to Disneyland since I was 10 years old, and I'm now 48. So it'll be interesting, but I'm going as a chaperone with my school, so I get the whole thing paid for. So yes, I am going to be managing 10 grade 8 music students. There's like 90 kids going on this trip, but it's gonna be really fun, right? So, and then March for me is also spring break. So that fits for, there we go. April really popped out, jumper. April, the Hierophant. So interesting. The Hierophant is our teacher, right? And our cultural leader. And it can be really fun to learn. I think a lot of people forget that, right? So in April, this could be a mentor coming into your life. Maybe you are mentoring somebody, right? But there's going to be a lot of learning. There's teaching and learning, okay? There's teaching and learning in April for so many of us. Also, this is a 5, okay? And 5s can be about change, right? There's lots of so change. I'm getting this. There's going to be something cool. Something's going to pique your interest, right? And like, here's the thing is when you feel fulfilled, like this is a really card of like ultimate fulfillment. Okay. When you feel fulfilled, it gives you this space to be able to learn new things because you feel safe, right? Like you feel good. And so the Hierophant can be all about this. So embracing the energy of either being the student. I mean, we're all lifelong students, right? Well, ideally, right? In order to be happy, we need to be progressing. In order to be progressing, we need to be learning and accomplishing things, right? So very, very interesting to get the Hierophant here in April. Just right, maybe it's gardening, right? Maybe you will learn about something new in your garden because that is a good time to start, your little seed planting, etc. Okay, let's go with May. My month. May is my month. It's also the month I socialize the most. Oh, interesting. But doesn't this just fit perfectly with the learning? Okay. So this thing that you're going to learn and starts putting your energy into, right? Or start teaching somebody else is going to lead to some sort of like side hustle. This is to me, this is a card of side hustle, right? There's an apprenticeship piece to it. They're becoming a master of their craft, and it's also lucrative, right? Like these are climbing up, like these pentacles are climbing up the tree. And so it means like we're growing, and there's like this structure to it, right? So maybe you'll go back to school, maybe you'll take a course. I was planning on taking a course in February, but maybe I'll be taking it in May. Who knows? Okay, so whatever it is that kind of like you're making space for, with all that fulfillment and healing, right? Like there's something here that could actually turn into something lucrative for you that could even maybe turn into a full-time gig, right? Maybe this channel will become a full-time gig for me. I actually don't want that for another 9.5 years because girls got a pension and I ain't no fool. So, but I also make space for the things that light me up. So if it lights you up, go for it, right? Go for it. Use that knowledge. And just because you have the mentor or are mentoring somebody, in April doesn't mean that that's just going to stop as soon as May hits, right? Like this could be I'm actually getting this as like more of a long-term kind of arrangement. But also remember our mentors are all over the place. I'm learning about money on YouTube, right? Or more about money on YouTube. And I'm just picking and just sifting and sorting like you should be with this, right? Sifting and sorting what's meaningful for you and what you feel like you can actually do. Because we can't do everything. Like nobody can. It's ridiculous. It's a crazy concept of I can have everything. No, you can't, and you shouldn't want it, right? When you have everything, what do you have? You have everything, but you got nowhere to go, right? There's something else that was coming to mind. Oh, it'll come up in the rest of the reading. Okay, let's go June. What's happening in June, Manifestor? Woo! I don't know. In June, we have the Empress. Okay, the Empress is a creator. Right? She is Gaia. She is beauty. She is creation. So whatever, I love spirit so much, okay? Because this makes so much logical sense. I'm also like a super logical person. Okay, so we have got teacher, mentor, learning, apprenticing, and then creating. So some of you are going to create something. Now, it could be a baby. Okay, that could be it. You might be making a baby, okay? But you could also be creating a project, a product. You could be creating a YouTube channel, whatever, right? So, but there is something really beautiful and creative happening in June for us. I love this, love this, love this. And please let me know. Let me know in the comments what you think that might be. What have you already been thinking about? What have you, what are you thinking about that you're going to start talking about? Because we usually start thinking about things before we talk about them, right? That's typical. Not maybe necessarily for us manifestors, because we tend to just inform, right? We just tend to inform. Ooh, let me tie that in too. Interesting. Okay. All right. Next we have July, summertime. Okay. All right. Next we have July, summertime. Summertime. Okay, we have the Three of Wands. If this was a business plan, this actually is kind of a business plan is what is happening. Okay, so the Three of Wands is about embarking. Okay, it can be about taking a trip. So maybe you're going to embark on a journey, right? Like a physical trip, like you go to Mexico or you go to Seattle or Australia or China, I don't know, whatever, right? Okay, so maybe you are taking a trip, so that can be happen in July. Lots of travel happens in July, but to me, this is more about taking the actual steps to get something going, right? So it's like in the wands, like the Ace of Wands is the inspiration, right? You have an inspiration, and then the Two of Wands is about contemplation, right? This is the actual setting in motion one, okay? So this is about the growth. So whatever you have created in May, it's time to grow it. Oh no, sorry, in June. Yeah, that was June, okay. Whatever you have created in June, it's time to grow it in July. That is spirit, I mean, really. Okay. Oh, they agree. Okay, let's go August. At the end, I will do a little mini video about what each one is. Like, I'll do a review, okay? So I'll do a review, and then I'll even do a short, I think, too. Okay, so we're August now. Manifestors in August. Queen of Wands. Okay. So this is my bestie, Pinky. This is my card for her. This is how I see her. She is my sister from another mister. And so there is a lot of sister energy, but a lot of support here. And her birthday's in August. So that's why I love that I pulled this for August. So clearly she and I are doing something in August. But for everyone else, the Queen, she is like very dynamic and she is caring. And she also like, the Queens are nurturers. So they want us to nurture. And this is about nurturing your passions. So whatever passion, it just goes, okay? It just goes and it flows. So the passion is the thing that you've created, okay? So you created this thing and now it is time to like speak about it and act on it with confidence, with charm, right? Like this might be the sales portion of whatever. If this is a business plan for you, which it's reading like that, okay, it's time to like take it to market, right? Or to start, like for you to start feeling that pride in what you've created and being able to promote it. Maybe it's not something for sale. I don't know, right? Like I'm just getting business plan stuff here, but like overwhelmingly so actually. But it's like, anyways, but like if that doesn't fit for you, for the Queen of Wands is just asking to be her, be there for somebody else, right? Be the bestie, be that sister, even if you aren't a sister, right? If it's a sister from another mister, if somebody needs your help, or if you need help, this is the person that you are to turn to, okay? Because they are solid, they are, and they're caring, and they're ready to help nurture. But really, it's about nurturing those passions, okay? So like growth, more growth here. We've got more growth here with the Queen of Wands. Okay, and that was August. Okay, September. Okay. The High Priestess. I have been dealt this card a couple times as like my card, as for me. I actually, I resonate with the Knight of Pentacles the most, actually. I love her because I'm like fiercely independent, but also in a partnership and all those kinds of things. But you know, yeah. Okay, so September. Oh, it's time to tap into that intuition, yo. Okay, that crown is to open up because Spirit is ready. Okay, so she like lives in between the two worlds, right? She lives here on Earth, but she's also highly connected. So much of this is about her intuition, using yours, right? So learning. So we are all born with intuition. It is kind of socially conditioned out of us, but that feeling, that gut feeling, right? Now I am an emotional manifestor, an emotional authority. And so like the sacral, the gut intuitions, like they need this card. Like it's like that's how they make their decisions for manifestation. We don't, you won't, because we don't have gut intuition, because manifestors can't, but I'm an emotional one. So I feel like my emotions tell me where to go, right? And so I learned a long time ago when I started living my life based on my emotions rather than logic and making decisions that way. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still use logic, but my emotions are more important. And so if something doesn't feel good, I move away from it. If something feels good, I move towards it, right? And I think that, and for anybody with an emotional authority, which is like 50+% of us, that is the way we should be. So if you are an emotional authority, go listen to yourself some Abraham Hicks, and that's a win-win. Okay, so in September, we are looking, that's so interesting. September for me is always a new year, okay? Because I work in the school system, but also have been to Burning Man 10 times, and the man burns on the very first couple of days of September. And so I always feel like I get this cleansed and this new year. So I'm wondering what kind of like cleansing, right, in September might happen for you as well. But just know you're going to be more open to messages and whatnot in September. So listen. If you don't listen, the universe just forces shit on you, okay? So little story, I have been missing 2 back teeth here for 1 to 2 years, and actually have manifested a free tooth, but that's a different story. It's too long. And there we go. So this was caused by misalignment here. Now my dentist told me for the whole last year, he's like, you need to get the implants done. And I was like, nah, because they're not covered by my insurance. And I'm just like, ugh. And you know, there's always other things to spend money on. And so I've been living like that. And he's like, you know, you're going to lose your bone density, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't listen. Anyways, so I'm eating a pierogi, which is not something that should crack your tooth, right? But because of the misalignment, I cracked this tooth. A couple days later, got a root canal. That failed. Got the implants done. Then a week later, found out that this didn't work and I had to get it pulled. This is covered, so I'll get that done in 2 weeks once it's healed. But in 2025, I'm going to have a full grill, as my friend Sam puts it. I haven't had a full set of teeth in a long time. And I am actually very pumped about it. Okay, back to this. We have, what was that? It was September. Okay, October. Oh, the reflectors got this too. Okay. So sun, and they got it in the same month. Okay, so if you are planning on having a baby, okay, October might be the month. All right, so it's interesting, your creation, maybe the timing is a bit off on that on the Empress, but it's not off on the family happiness. Ooh, baby, some of you might be making some babies in March. Is that right? Yep, babies in March. I think that does leave to babies. Anyways, 10 months. I might be a little bit off, but maybe the end. Anyways, that's one possibility here. All right. Now, the sun, this is the most positive card in the deck. Okay. And so, but here's the thing is that in October, the light starts to really dim. And so it's really important, especially, here in the Northern Hemisphere. You're in the South, it's the opposite. But it's like, so this is a reminder that the light is within you, okay? And also to take care of yourself. If you're one of those people that starts to get kind of down when the light starts to disappear, it's important, get one of those like little lamps or something, right? Like, not in January, no by January, okay? But really like take care of yourself. Know that this light is within you. There may be a birth in your family. Just remember, like the sunflowers always turn to the light. So we're being encouraged to do the same thing. So in October, turn towards the light. Okay, how am I doing here? Oh, there we go. I have a little arrangement here that you'll see at the end, and I just have to make sure that it's done right. Okay, November. Oh, that jumped out. I'll be right back. Woo. Oh, well. It's our good friend, the 10 of Swords. All right. So fear not the swords, my people. Okay. And also the 10 of Swords is basically, it's a blessing in disguise. Okay. So something that has seemed really bad or something that's been kind of bad. Again, your overall reading is very, very positive so far, right? As long as you focus on the good, but that doesn't mean that bad things don't happen for us, right? Remember, it's very important to remember that life doesn't happen to us, it happens for us. So whatever lessons we need to learn from the 10 of Swords, from all of the things that have led up to it, are going to come to a head in November. But one of the most beautiful things about the 10s is that they're about completion. So that means a cycle has wrapped up. So this is also in an area of our thoughts. So if you've had some stinking thinking, if you did not take the advice of this, okay, it's going to come to a head in November. All right. So we want to acknowledge the lessons that we have learned and then basically get a new start. But remember, this does come from our thoughts. It comes from our own, which we have a ton of power over. Okay. We have so much power over our thoughts. And this is one of the reasons why therapy works so well. Okay. If you're genuine with it, right? Like a lot of people lie to their therapist, don't get me wrong. It's a waste of money if you do. But as a person, you should be the most honest with, right? So anyways, actually maybe other than yourself, I guess, right? Okay, we're wrapping this up. We got 2 more cards. I've got December and then the overall theme for the year. Oh, okay. Back in the Swords, we've got the 2 of Swords for December. All right, so now there is a little something that you don't see coming. All right, so there is a decision to be made. All right, but notice how she is blindfolded and there's the moon here. Anytime that the moon appears in the cards, there's something that's hidden a little bit. Remember, the moon is about illusion. Like the moon gives light, but it also gives a lot of shadows, right? And so it's really important. So there's an important decision to be made in December. It's really important that you move towards, if you've been moving towards the light, right? We want to make sure you're making that decision from your higher self. And also knowing that you can just put down the swords and take off. Like all she has to do is put the swords down, right? And then take off the thing and she'll be able to see, right? So it's about, there's something that you don't see coming, but you do have the ability, right? And once you do see it, you'll be able to make that clear choice. Okay, so we've got that. And then our overall energy for the year, Manifestor. Overall energy is, the King of Swords. Oh, wisdom, experience, Clarity, I love it. Leadership, that totally fits with the business plan thing. Okay, so if you did, there's my dog at the door. Okay, so if you did think of this as a business plan kind of thing, which is how I'm going to take it, because it totally fits with what, kind of what I would like to. I had this wonderful manifestation. Here's how I'm doing my manifestations for the year. And I got this from, again, some YouTuber. And it is like, I'm writing everything down like it's December 31st, 2025. And I'm telling the Queen of Swords, or Queen of Wands, okay, and I'm telling, hey girl, I'll do a little picture of her afterwards. I'll add her at the end because she's this new delightful part of our life. Okay. Is if you're talking to the Queen of Wands, your bestie, your sister, someone you trust, what happened this year? Okay. What happened this year to make it the best year that you've ever had in your life? Okay. And this energy of the King of Swords is so strong, right? Like this person is wise. They can be a little icy hot. Okay. So maybe there's going to be some hot and cold. Okay. There's going to be some hot and cold throughout the year, but of course there is. There's always ups and downs. It's how we respond to them that really makes us resilient and strong and successful people, right? Like life is going to happen. How we respond defines who we are. Okay, there we go. Well, Manifestor, if you stuck with me for this long, I am so grateful. And I just want to let you know that if you would like your own personally channeled year ahead spread, I am offering a deal for people who watch this video. Okay, so it is $20 off. Usually it's $75 Canadian, and I'm knocking it down to $55 up until January 31st. So please contact me by my channel or reach out to me at tarotinhd.com and we can get that sorted out for you. Okay, alrighty. I look forward to seeing you again, and it looks like a wonderful year ahead. Okay, I'm really pumped at what this is for us. Okay, all right. I mean, come on, she's adorable.